Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build on Model Kit and to hang out with all of you. I am going to go ahead and throw the Bear Cave leg of the site emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. You can also just say hi. If you're not a subscriber, you can use other people's emotes. Or if you don't feel like chatting, don't worry about it. But I like to see who's here. I like to do, kind of roll call. So I want to give a shout out to the T and Bobby, Dice Roller, and of course Aristofan, who are all here. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. We're waiting to see if a few more folks want to join us before we get into this. This is the intro portion. Lashbrook is here. And I mentioned this in the pre-show, or the pre-show, I should say. But in the intro, thank you very much. Oh, we got a new follower. Thank you, Mr. Haydel, for the follow. Appreciate that. Yes, following is a good way to know. And, of course, before the stream started, yesterday, for some reason, I had Smash Pad and Bar Night. It is always interesting when people follow when I am not currently streaming, but I appreciate those follows. But I did want to say thank you very much for being here early in the intro portion. There's a reason why at 9 p.m. Eastern I don't immediately start building. It's because I want to give people a chance to come in, see that pre-roll ad if they're not a subscriber, hang out with everybody, kind of get into the vibe. Is it also to do a little troubleshooting in case, let's say, I forgot to put on my bandana and it's getting sweaty in here, or my mic isn't working quite right, or I didn't turn a light on. Yeah, that helps, but most of the time I've got that on lock. It's really just a chance to let people arrive. That's why I start the stream technically, the pre-show, with music playing, starts 3 minutes before 9 p.m. Eastern, and we don't start until about 3 minutes past 9 p.m. to give it about 6 minutes for people to kind of stroll in, get comfortable. Sometimes people see a tweet and they're like, oh, I want to do that. I forgot about that. I saw the tweet at noon or 3 or 5 or 7, but oh, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to jump in on this stream. So thank you to everybody that makes that choice to come in early. And of course, if you're watching this later on VOD or on YouTube, what's up? And thank you for watching. And, I'll also welcome anyone that comes in whenever they want. They're finishing up another stream. There's a raid. They just happen to forget that I stream. Or they're like, I'm doing stuff, Pat. You stream at 6 p.m. for me, so I'm eating. And then I'm done and I come here. Dirty's here saying, evening, Bear Cave. Good evening to you. I'm going to scratch my ear a bit, and then we'll get into it. I'm getting, so far, the person that I have subtweeted has not replied. But we'll go on record with starting with. Look, there are 3 kinds of people that I follow on the internet. On Twitter. Let's be specific. Twitter. 4 kinds of people. People I aspire to one day know in my life, people that I have known for any period of my life in real life, through work, through mutual friends, convention stuff, comedy, all that. People I follow because they seem cool, and people that I don't remember why I follow them at all. I think that's it. So, first category, people I aspire to know and inspired by. Those are, sometimes famous people, famous within their field, maybe not famous, but people that I'm like, oh, that person's in the public eye and they're interesting, I'll follow them. Then there's people that I know, the largest portion is people I've met. Maybe we met at conventions, maybe we worked together, maybe they were an intern at the theater I used to work at. Maybe we have been on a panel together or whatever. And those are broad. Right? Those go from like, these are my close friends. These are people that I know. These are people that are like, at one time in my life, I cared a little bit about at some point. Then there's the people that I'm like, I haven't met these people in life, but like, they were following me and they seem cool. And like, all right, I'll give them a follow and we'll see what's up. And then there are people that I'm just like, I don't know where you came from. Are you category 2 or category 3? And I can't tell. Here's the thing. If you are in category 1, 2, or 3, unless you were in a subcategory of 2, if I don't want to read what you have to say, then I'm just going to unfollow. In category 2, there is room for muting because I like you as a person, but I don't need your internet. And that's okay. I know I'm definitely muted by people, and that's fine. I understand that. But most of the time in category 1 or category 3 or category 4, if you're going to talk about NFTs in a positive light, non-fungible tokens, then I'm gone. I don't need you, and I don't need to see that in my feed. And I have to really like you. You have to be hot. You have to be like someone I've known for decades that I highly think are fantastic, for me to be like, are fine. You can keep talking about NFTs. It's weird that you like them. Like, there's a dude in my life who has been very important to me, very important in my life for many years. We've lost touch. He's not into NFTs per se, but he is really into Bitcoin, like annoyingly into Bitcoin. But my life is better because of his influence. So, like, he doesn't get muted. I just roll my eyes, and I wish he wasn't, like, so into Dogecoin. Like, writing an open letter to Elon Musk into Dogecoin. Like, I wish that that wasn't the case for a person that I care about very much, who was really important to my life. But, like, I'm ride or die with him, so, like, But today, somebody was talking about artists first, and how, and literally said, and we'll get into building, but I'm hot about this. I couldn't keep those people in my life. If they are friends, I need to talk to them. That's the thing, the T. Those are conversations that happen. And sometimes those conversations don't happen on Twitter. And maybe they shouldn't happen on Twitter. And the T says, like, I've cut family out of my life or stuff like that. And I understand. I agree with you. And everybody makes their own choices. Like I said, it's a sliding scale for me. There are people that I'm just like, Reggie Watts, who I think is creatively a genius. Reggie Watts is a fantastic comedian, he is a comedy musician that is a fantastic musician and a fantastic comedian, and put them together and it works. Did an NFT, and I was like, this one hurts, but unfollow. Goodbye, Reggie. Continue to be brilliant, and I hope someday you regret doing an NFT. Because that's a fucking bummer. But this other person, who I'm not going to name, important in my life, going to go with it. This person today hit the thing that I almost replied. I almost replied, because they were talking about how the quote unquote environmentalists are misguided, and actually NFTs aren't bad for the environment. And their big case for that is that people can't agree how bad NFTs are for carbon footprint, which is not the sole argument for why they're bad for the environment. But people can't come to a conclusive conclusion about just how bad they are. No, everyone agrees they're bad, but they might not be as bad as other forms of art. So why are people making a big deal about it? Like, that's this person's argument. And I was like, well, I'm going to subtweet you. I had to subtweet. Basically, like, I'm gifting myself, taking myself out of this, saying no thank you. That's a gift to me. Again, I should have just unfollowed and moved on. Cut ties, whatever. Muted, whatever. Keep the safe, whatever. I did have to subtweet. And I'm not proud about that, but I know myself well enough to know that, like, I can't let that go. Like, it's one thing to be like, please, 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 please. If you need to be callous, if you need to say, well, I don't care. We're already destroying the planet, and this is a way for people to get paid, and I don't care. Just be that person. But don't go and say, well, the science isn't in, so why don't we all back off on that? And also, if you're out there being excited about something that Dan Harmon is doing, I need you to take a look at yourself in the mirror. We're going to get into model kit building. I got on a rant here. But, like, your barometer of what's good in the world should not be that man, for all his many faults and his willingness to attempt to grow and change, which I appreciate. And, we got to give people space to grow. But, like, if you're like, well, Dan Harmon is leading this, so it's got to be good, and you're like, that's not that's a big nope from me. So anyway, I'm going to retweet my tweet. I'm going to get into model kit building. I'm still going to be talking, and will I still rant? Sure. I'm sure I will. But like, yeah, the T, he definitely does. And like I said, I want to give people room to grow, to attempt to better themselves, to be more. And certainly, in the war between Dan Harmon and Chevy Chase, I do side with Dan Harmon. But it's not. I'm not siding because it's mostly the better of two evils. Certainly. Um, hey, the T. Sometimes you can be salty. As always, like I said, I'm ranting here as we're going to get in. We're working on the Zaku II. It's fantastic. Let's talk about that for a second. And then there'll be more ranting, I'm sure. This is the Zaku II. This is a 2020 model. This is a brand new kit, new mold, new spruces. Fantastic looking. I did panel line this off stream. This is the first time I think I've done a Zaku II with panel lining because, oh boy, I love how this looks. I'm using the light pinkish colored red here. I am using gray. I am using black on the darker magenta. And then the red, which there's only a little bit of, this red here that is different from this red. I will be hitting brown on that. And this is rubber. So, I don't know. This will take marker. I don't know how long it'll last. Right now, it just looks like a little Zaku orb. Like the orb boy could be a real thing. Yeah, this is just a little orb. It's just a Zaku. It's just a Zaku hanging out. But we did panel line it, and it looks fucking great. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited to have so many of y'all here. Welcome. If you haven't been here in a while, if you're new, if you've been here every stream, thank you very much for spending some of your Monday here with me as I build model kits and get salty about stuff. I finally have a shelving unit to build on. I have 6 of these. These are folder, like organizers here that you might see in an office or some, home office, all that. I have 6 of these. They stack. They're easily stackable. And they hold trays without them sliding out the back. And you can, for a master grade, you can double up. So you can do something like this. Hey, the top is A and B. And then you just find the sheets you need, pull them out. I've been building out of boxes for too long because I didn't want to ship these. I didn't want to take these on a plane or mail them here. I didn't feel like that was a good call. So I've been building out of boxes, which is frustrating. And sometimes pieces fall out, things get stuck together. It's hard to find them. It's hard to keep them organized alphabetically. So I eventually just bought some more. They're like $15. And guess what? I'll leave them here when I move on again. I have my old ones in New York. Also, I take these with me when I am when conventions happened. I would take these with me and use them on my table when I was tabling, and those are very great for doing the tabling business. We're building most of these arms at the same time here, so we will be because. At a certain point, these are not symmetrical. As you know, you can see the shoulder pieces are certainly different. But for a large portion of this, the arms, they are the same. So we can get started on doing that. So let's jump to C, which is right here, C1 and then C2. Yeah, so this is a lot easier for me to find stuff. I don't have to go through a box. I don't have to keep the box if I don't want. And I just put them in there. And then when I'm done for the day, I can compress it down. I can take 2 of them, sandwich them together. They take up very little space, all 6. And sometimes I'll build out of this and a box if it's a very big master grade. If it's a lot of, I've got a lot going, I might do that. But right now, don't really need to worry about that. Can build it all out of one. So yeah, I was certainly annoyed about NFT stuff today, and that's fine. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world, certainly. That is just one thing that got my goat pretty much as soon as we got close to starting the stream. I was suddenly just like, oh, well, this is a thing. The The other thing I want to talk about tonight that like I know I want to talk about, and like we'll see where conversations take us as always. If people bring in things they want to chat about, if you get inspired to talk about things, if there looks like the conversation is going in that direction, we can always talk about these things. But like, hey, today has been an ass day. Well, first off, hi, Mr. Bob. Second off, I'm sorry today was an ass day. I hope me talking about this will brighten your day a bit. For those that don't follow wrestling, in particular, don't follow the WWE, the World Wrestling Entertainment Company, you may not know that last night there was a wrestling show. It used to just be called, this one used to be my least favorite. Yes, my least favorite kit. I built the date of my favorite mobile suit, says Xenogears. Oh, Xenogears. Well, I'll keep an eye out. So far I've enjoyed it. I would say that the chest was a little tricky, like getting this part together was a little weird. But I'm really liking the look of this. So, there was a wrestling thing last night was the extent of my knowledge. Yes. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. And Zeno, I'll certainly keep an eye out. I'm sorry you don't enjoy this kit. I have liked it so far, but, there may be more tricks around the corner to make this a non-favorable build. So last night there was WWE Backlash. Backlash. That's what they call it. It used to just be called, or it's called WrestleMania Backlash, I should say. It's been okay day that I'm bookending with your stream while I season a cast iron. Heck yeah, that is important to do. So good luck to that. Okay, and then this wants to go like this. Oh, what do we got here? Harold's hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate that, my friend. I'm happy that you were here. Thank you for the host. Okay, so as I said, there was wrestling, and it was all right. I'm gonna try to make sure I get this piece in right because it looks like if I don't get it in right, it'll be weird. But there we go. Got it. Okay. And Jam is here. Welcome, Jam. Happy to have you here. Welcome. We got a great crowd tonight. Very cool. Nice to have you all here so early. Okay, so Backlash. WWE WrestleMania Backlash. It's the Backlash to WrestleMania. So you're like, oh, cool, it's a bunch of rematches? Kind of, but not really. It's a continuation of some feuds for WrestleMania? Yes and no. And then I know what you're thinking. You're not following the business. You're not following stuff. Maybe you know some of the names, through osmosis, or because sometimes they say make very good or very bad social media presences, so you kind of know what's up. So you're thinking, well, I'm sure that whatever happened, it didn't involve zombies, and that's where you'd be wrong. Because the primary sponsor of Backlash was the new Army of the Dead movie, which happens to star Dave Bautista, former WWE superstar, who is a Hall of Famer. Well, he was booked to be in the Hall of Fame in 2020, and they didn't have that because of, the thing. And then they were like, well, can we do it in 2021? And he was like, I am not available to be there in person. So he is in the Hall of Fame, but like not in the Hall of Fame. It's weird, but it happens. I thought The Undertaker. So The Undertaker he's the dead man, so which is different from him being a zombie. I'm talking about zombies that like slow moving, eat brains, devour people. Yeah, so I didn't watch Tonight Boom Cannon to see if they're just going to ignore that or if they're going to be like, ha ha ha, wasn't that weird? But yeah, so Dave Bautista's in a zombie movie, a Zack Snyder directed zombie movie. Yeah, he's I would say, Lashbrook, that Undertaker is like a warlock that died and then now is maybe a lich. Yeah, I would say that. Because yeah, he's got the urn, but he was a warlock in his own right, and now he has become an undead lich maybe. They haven't come up yet tonight. Okay, well, thank you, Jam. So yeah, out of nowhere, John Morrison, who is purposely, because he is a heel, a bad guy, is calling himself Johnny Drip Drip. And he looks like what somebody who is trying to become famous on TikTok as a rapper, but is infamous on TikTok for being terrible, looks like. He looks like he's trying to be riffraff, but without really understanding what it is. Hey, Lord Crashington. So Johnny Drip Drip, he also does not know what drip means, which is great. He's terrible. He opens a door at this wrestling show, and because his partner, The Miz, is going to be in a lumberjack match. And a lumberjack match is there's two people in the ring, and surrounding the outside of the ring are wrestlers. And their job as wrestlers is if you come out of the ring, if you fall out of the ring, you get pushed out of the ring, you step out of the ring, they're supposed to put you back in the ring. And of course, that's to keep people from running away, right? Well, in this case, the lumberjacks are zombies. These are WWE trainees. These are people you don't see on TV that are they're not even in NXT yet. They're just there. It's those folks, and they are painted up like zombies. And so they chase them to the ring, and then the colors in the ring change. And because there's not a live crowd, there are these monitors, and you can see people's webcams watching. Those all change and go out, and it's kind of stylistically cool. And they use different camera. They had a fog machine. Lashbrook mentions, of course, yes, they had fog. They changed the lights, and it made it feel different. But also, there was a referee and two wrestlers in the ring doing a normal wrestling match. And then, they get out to the ring and have to fight zombies. Did you notice they always had a zombie on the screen crowd? I did not see that, Jam. I did not notice that. I wasn't looking closely at the people. Then they would, also, the zombies didn't get into the ring during the match. The zombies respected the match, which is, good. I appreciate that the zombies were looking out and not, disobeying the rules. And then, John Morrison didn't want to be out there because normally he would be convention zombies. Yes, the T. John Morrison normally would be at ringside and getting involved, but he, ran away, and he was like, I'm not, they're fucking zombies. All the announcers ran away, which is very fun, which I think is a great touch because it would have seemed extra. It would have been the bad kind of weird if the announcers had stayed at their desk at ringside. So instead they ran away. And at one point, I will say this is cool. This is terrible. All of this is awful, right? It's the bad kind of fun. It's not the good kind of fun. There was a moment I thought was great, which was Morrison and Damian Priest, his opponent, ended up outside the ring together, and they worked together. Even though they were in a match, they worked together to fight off the zombies so they could get back in the ring. And I actually thought that was kind of fun. I thought that was kind of neat. And then at one point, John Morrison was doing parkour off stuff because that's a thing that he is known to do, because it was very cool when he first started doing it. Parkour is still pretty cool. But he was doing parkour to fight some zombies, and it was this whole thing. He came out to help cheat, and then eventually he got dragged off. John Morrison got dragged off by zombies, presumed to be murdered. And then Damian Priest won. And then he and the referee got out of the ring, and the zombies, because the match was over, respected the rules, waited till the match was over. They got in the ring and encircled to assumedly devour The Miz, while Damian Priest posed. He did his big, he's the archer of infamy, which who cares? He doesn't have a bow, an arrow, but he shot a bow, with pantomime shot a bow, and then the over the stage thing changed to promote the movie. And then people did what you do when something like this happens. They tweeted at Dave Bautista being like, hey, this sucks. And Dave was like, I didn't send the zombies. I'm on a plane right now. Why don't you complain to Vince? And it's just like, yeah, that's fair enough, Dave Bautista. You didn't do this terrible promotion. Um, that sounds like wrestling to me. So it is wrestling, but it was like, I don't know. Haven't been up to date with for a while. Drew McIntyre and Daniel Bryan were guys I liked last time. Harrison, right now Daniel Bryan has been retired from SmackDown. He's off the stage he might be going into a semi-permanent role. He might just be taking some time off. His contract might actually be up in kayfabe. We're not 100%. There's conversations out there about that. Drew McIntyre competed in a triple threat, and Drew McIntyre did a Michinoku driver on Braun Strowman, who is a giant man. He did a very impressive wrestling move on an enormous man, and it was fucking great. It was legitimately cool as hell. It took two of them to suplex Braun Strowman, both he and Bobby Lashley, who is another ginormous strong man. The two of them worked together to suplex him, and then he did a Michinoku driver, and it was fucking cool. Anyway, look, Alexa Bliss / The Fiend are already spooky people, and neither were there. That's your easy tie-in. You just do it backstage with Alexa Bliss saying her spooky bullshit, talking about her crazy doll and her weirdness and all that. You just do that, and then you have her be like, oh, and then you have the zombie pin whoever is the 24/7 champion, who I assume is R-Truth because I don't remember. But you just have him pin the champion, and that's it. Some zombie becomes, 24/7 champion for a little bit, and Alexa Bliss laughs, and that's your tie-in. But to have it be lumberjacks is such a strange choice. It was weird, and I found it not great. Because as I said, there's already spooky bullshit. Or, if you're from the United Kingdom, spooky bollocks. There's already some spooky bollocks, so you don't need more extra nonsense spooky. The only thing I knew about the show is something about zombies. Yes, I like my wrestling somewhat corny. This all sounds good to me. Yeah, Bobby, I mean, look, I like weird. I like nonsense, but it felt like... Here's the thing, right? If they were just if it's Halloween and you want to have, zombies show up, I think I'm okay with that. But it was just a pay-per-view that was clearly a tie-in for a movie. And here's the real thing is, are they going to play into it? Are they going to be are both of them going to be in denial about it? They're not going to come to the ring as zombies. I know that. I know they're not going to be zombies when they come to the ring. But are they going to acknowledge it? Or are they just going to be that happened? No, whatever. I got better. We ran away. Turns out those guys were just, had some bad fish. I don't know what they're going to do, but I hope they don't ignore it because it is a very weird thing to happen. There's other wrestling shit that happened that I liked better. But that one I was meh, I don't know. I felt I don't know. What they should do instead of putting the effort into making these movies canon into WWE Universe. Yeah, there you go. Instead of saying Dave Bautista's in a movie, just be the characters. I mean, they have done that. Theoretically, if you suspension of disbelief is a thin line, balancing line on a wire. Yes, I would say, Harrison. Here's my thinking, right? This is right at the top of the dome. Not going to put it on it for sure. There have been guest hosts of Monday Night Raw. And if we take those guest hosts as canon, yes, the Terminator is part of that world. The Muppets are part of the WWE Universe. MacGruber, because the cast of MacGruber hosted as the characters, not as themselves. Kristen Wiig might not be part of the WWE Universe, but her character in MacGruber is. Will Forte is also SNL. Weekend Update announcers have been in WrestleMania, so SNL is part of the WWE Universe, but also, um, the SNL based characters who were in a movie are part of the canon, which I always really liked. I always thought that was way better than just have like, like Jeremy Piven is going to be hanging out, which is they have done on like several occasions. Like that's, but it's way more fun if they're like, yeah, MacGruber. MacGruber is real and he's my friend. I think that's way better. Bob Barker, of course, yes, one of the best hosts, totally. Bob Barker's long-standing feud with Dolph Ziggler is fantastic. I love it very much. Uh, Batista went up to WB Studios and said he wanted to play Bane. He would still fit the role in decent acting. Hope there's a Batman movie with a Bane in again. Yes, Batista would make a fantastic Bane. I don't disagree with you. I think he would do a good job with Bane. And it would be interesting to see a more like the Batman animated series take a little bit of that, a little bit of Secret Six, and a Bane would be nice from the comics. Oh, yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think you could pull it off. All right, so we finished the arm parts we can do here. Look, I can't imagine WB Studios is going belly up. Warner is pretty huge. I mean, maybe they are, but I don't know. I would doubt it. I mean, they may have to. They may have to figure out a way to work with, global stuff. Okay. Yes. No. Yeah. And they're selling more. AT&T is splitting from Warner Media, but all of the layoffs are from Discovery. There's like thousands of layoffs to Discovery. So, yeah, I don't think they're going belly up. They're just changing things around, which surprisingly includes Rooster Teeth. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what Rooster Yeah, for a while there, I thought Rooster Teeth was part of Elevation, so that theoretically at some point Sony would own them, but I guess they're not. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm not the best at keeping track of this shit. I try, but I'm a little out of the game. Expect a small but steady stream of victims from this. Nothing major, but small edge stuff. Oh, the HBO Max. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't pretend to know a lot about this stuff. I don't pay as close attention to all of these things. I would like to be more informed than I am, but I am not as informed on what's going on in the day-to-day. May I ask what the meaning of this colors written above the photo in the lower right corner of the stream? Seems like it's pointing out the colors in the photo actually correlate in reality. Sorry, Gunpla newbie here. Oh, so Mr. Hadel, there's nothing you could really no. This is gibberish. Generally, it makes more sense, but I'll kind of break it down for you. So, I'm bad at picking out colors here of the different things. So I'm calling this light red, this dark red. So this is the light red. This is the dark red. And then there is a true red, which is this color. None of that is particularly accurate. Now the other colors there, the second ones, gray, black, and brown, refer to the markers I will use. So this is my cheat sheet because I am going to be doing what's called panel lining. You can see the difference here if you look at the head, this piece here, versus the arm, which we completed, but we haven't done any panel lining on. Panel lining is just using some markers and then cleaning them up to hit all of the little lines on here to make them stand out, make them look a little bit more like they do in the CG photo you see there. This makes sense. Thank you. I was wondering if it was related to panel lining. Yes. So normally I would be like red pieces of plastic. This is just all very similar coloring. So I am just kind of making up my own versions of what, but I know what they mean. I know that this is a different color from that and what I use there. And it is just a cheat sheet. But normally, like, I'd be like, oh, I use the brown marker for red, and for yellow, I will use the black marker, and then for white, I will use the gray marker. And it's just for me to remember, especially between streams. Like, we decided this on Saturday But today I might have forgotten that I want to use gray on this when I hit this part of the arm, which we can do now. So yeah, so I'm just going to do some panel lining. But yeah, thank you for asking that question. I appreciate that. I forget that, I sometimes forget that not everybody is here all the time, that people might be new to the stream. Also, there are plenty of people out there that even if they're new to the stream, they know more than I do when it comes to this stuff. So I do try to make sure that I am reminded of that. I appreciate that. But yeah, we can just do that. And then, yeah, you can see I will hit my eraser. Oops. Oh, no. I worked too hard there. I could see this being annoying. This connection point here could get annoying. All right, so I'm just going to hit this here with the eraser, take off all the excess that's not meant to be there. This is, I refer to this as the quick and dirty method because you do it fast and you're okay with that. But yeah, so now there should be a somewhat noticeable difference. In photography, certainly when I take photos after this is done, you'll be able to see the difference there. But yeah, that just is my cheat sheet of reminders of what's going to happen there. Or what markers to use, because sometimes I forget. Or like, I'm going to do this stream tonight, and then the next build stream is on Thursday, and I might just completely forget what colors I'm using for what. Yeah, I decided that since this is like a lot of the parts are this color, that I would go with a light gray to kind of make this stand out. And then the darker red, I will hit this kind of like maroon almost. I'm going to hit with black. As you can see, maybe you can see on the back of this. My lighting here isn't particularly great for this stuff, but yeah, there's a little detail there. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? I mean, yeah, the rest of the wrestling show was fine. It was totally a serviceable show. There was some good stuff. There was some okay stuff. I would have much rather have had the women's tag team titles change hands on the pay-per-view instead of just SmackDown. But I do want to publicly say that I am also on the Tamina train. I have been on the Tamina train for a very long time. She's an excellent worker, and I'm so happy that after years in the company, she has her first title. Years and years in the company, Tamina is the women's tag team champion, and I'm very happy for her. And also, part of it is the reception she got in front of a live crowd at WrestleMania, which is the first WWE show to have a live crowd in a very long time. So a big part of that was just the crowd was just really behind her. And I think that's awesome. Talking about wrestling got me visiting C-Scoop's site I haven't visited in years. Can't believe Rey Mysterio's son is wrestling now. Yes, also, the real feel-good story of the night, in this night particularly, is that Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic Mysterio, are the tag team champions. They are the first father-son duo to have tag team championships in the WWE, which is a very strange thing to say, but it's true. Yes, they won the titles from the Dirty Dogs, Robert Roode and I've said his name, Dolph Ziggler. I was like, I said his name tonight. Why am I blanking out Dolph Ziggler's name? But yes, Rey Mysterio. Yes, Dominic Mysterio went from having custody of him be decided in a ladder match to being having his first title within his first 2 years of being in the company with his dad. Which, if you want to be, you want to look at the this is a business, blah blah blah. This is probably a way to keep Rey Mysterio under a new contract, to be like, hey, you get to be tag champs with your son. That is probably partially to keep him happy and in the company, but also it's still a cool fucking thing. It's still neat that happened. So yeah, that is a wrestling thing that existed. But yeah, I'm excited about Tamina winning a belt because I think she is great, and I'm happy people are finally getting on the Tamina train. I've been putting this together just awkwardly, now for a bit here. I'm trying to get this on right. I don't know why I've been messing this up, but I think I got it now. Let's see, any other wrestling nonsense? I mean, mostly it was just like a fine wrestling show. Cesaro is just a good wrestler, and I am bummed that he did not win. But I knew he wasn't going to. But still, I'm glad he put a good showing in because he is just class. Just a good wrestler, and for him to have a one-on-one title after years of the best he could do is like a six-man to finally like be in a the world title picture is fantastic. And we'll see where it goes. Oh, I have to put this up here. So the number's wrong, so let me adjust the number. Close that, change this to that. But we are at 49 subscribers right now, and the goal is 50. So we're going to try to get back up to 50 subscribers. As always, this is just a goal that I would like to hit. You are not obliged to do this or obligated to do this, but if you would be interested in jumping in and being a subscriber, that would be fantastic. $5 a month. I know that they're going to be rolling out in some countries local prices. I don't know what that's going to mean for me. I haven't really read that, or streamers in general. I don't have. I would say that I am 90-ish% United States based. But I know there's some Canadian folks out there that watch what I do. There are some people from all of the, we have a few folks from different parts of the world. I know that Canada, I think, isn't getting local, but I think some other countries are. So, if you want to become a subscriber, you want to gift a sub, you got options. Has Cesaro's teeth and jaw healed better? Last time I saw him, he landed his mouth on a ring post and messed up his teeth. Yeah, so he wrestles with a mouth guard now. And in fact, Harrison, his mouth guard had vampire fangs on them last night. I don't know why, but he had a mouth guard with fangs. But yes, he has to wear a mouth guard now because to protect his teeth over the long term. He's not the only wrestler to do that. But yeah, he certainly has to make that happen. The zombie bit him and turned him into a vampire. Yeah. I think he was just like, well, there's spooky stuff, and I want to do something that looks cool, so I'll just have my mouth guard have fangs. I'm not really sure the whole process there, but that is what happened. Mouth guards just look good on some people, too. Boom, Kenny, you're not wrong. I mean, I think Shinsuke Nakamura makes a mouth guard look good because Shinsuke Nakamura makes anything look good because that's a damn handsome man. Ain't no way around that. Shinsuke Nakamura looks good all the time. All right, so we got our side shield on here. We're going to pop this together. We are going to panel line it, and then we are going to slap it on the side of this hand here, or arm here, and then build a hand, which will be good. I think they were able to do a full recovery surgically. The last work, I believe so. I believe they have been able to do that. So I'm just going to hit this side here with the gray marker. We won't see much of this, but for posing, it might be nice to do. And also, I always want to get better at doing panel lining, so we'll just hit this here real quick. Nice and easy. I'm just going to do this wherever it would look good. And then we'll, of course, hit it with the eraser and clean up any issues that may come up. Good night. You have a great night, Harold. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Does he wear a mouth guard as precaution because his teeth are weaker now? Harris, I believe that is most likely because his teeth are weaker to prevent further issues, but also probably to go along with the healing process post-surgery. It's like a requirement, like insurance-wise, But most likely, yeah, it is to prevent further issues from happening. I'm sure. But hopefully, he's doing all right. And I mean, his teeth look fine in interviews and when he does stuff with up, down, down. That all seems good. So I don't think it's affecting him day to day, but it's probably just affecting his wrestling. Same way there are people that have knee braces or leg braces for when they wrestle because they have to, but they don't wear them in their day to day life because they don't need them for other stuff. All right, so we gotta get this on here. Okay. That doesn't seem to want to hold, right? Oh, because it's the wrong one. Goes on this. Got it. I get it. Cool. There we go. And now that's on there. And then we're going to build the hand, which is B's and C's. So we'll do that. We're going to take a pause for the calls in a bit. We're in no rush. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. In the second hour, we will talk about some anime. As a transition into it, as you know, I've talked. Mondays are sometimes tough because not a lot of anime that I want to watch and talk about comes out on Sundays and Mondays. There are still plenty of shows out there. There's plenty of things to watch, but not a lot that I'm watching. Like, I'll probably end up watching Odd Taxi at some point, but I bounced off Odd Taxi because I just didn't enjoy the first episode. But I know people liked it. Yes, Harrison says To Your Eternity. I had been told explicitly that I should not watch it because of my general feelings on, and of course, I'm not going to give any spoilers to this. My general feelings on Children in Peril. Some people who have read the source material were like, Pat, you're really going to dislike this show. So I have not watched To Your Eternity. But I know people who have enjoyed their feelings been in their feelings while watching it. But yeah, that is a show that doesn't hit me. So a show that I've been watching mainly because it comes out on Sundays and it was fine, but I needed stuff to talk about, right? So I was watching, what is the name of that? I'm going to look it up because it's not listed here because I have given up on it because I did not enjoy what they did in the show. I wasn't super enjoying the show anyway, so I'm just going to go and look up the calendar so I can find it because I'm like, I just realized I don't remember the name of it. What is this called? Because it's got a long nonsense name. Seven Knights Revolution Hero Successor. Seven Knights Revolution Hero Successor. This is a show based on a mobile game. And I liked the premise, but I didn't like the execution of the story. And then last episode, this is not the one that happened yesterday, but the previous week's ended with them killing a minor character, a support character that I liked a lot. And I went, well, you know what? I wasn't really loving this show anyway. And then they killed off a character I really liked to progress the plot and make a character feel bad. Not even the main character feel bad, like not even a murdered to just be like, hey, this has been kind of cute for a little while, but now things are getting real. And I was like, oh, I don't like this, and I already don't really care about the show, so I'm done. So now I am done with Seven Knights Revolution Hero Successor. I will probably read about it at another time. I will read the synopsis of what happened, which is I'm kind of doing with Back Arrow, which is an original property that somehow Back Arrow got a double order, and I was like, this just seems terrible. Seven Nights Dance Dance Revolution. Yeah. It's a good one to see. But yeah, no, it just seemed like a terrible a Back Arrow. Look, I will give Back Arrow props for only one thing. I don't think the story was that interesting. I didn't think it looked that good. I thought it was weird, and not in a way that I was enjoying. But I will give it credit for one thing and one thing only. Back Arrow explained why it's called Back Arrow in the first episode. The main character is called a fool, a Bakaro, and mishears it as Back Arrow, and is like, I'm a Back Arrow? Okay, sure, that's my name, because he has amnesia. And that's nonsense, and I don't particularly enjoy that. But the fact that they were like, we're going to tell you what the character's name is and why it's called that right now. We're just going to tell you. And I appreciate that. That isn't wasting my time. I won't have to look that up, I got that information that I was looking for. immediately. So I appreciate that. But Back Arrow is doing exactly what I assumed it was going to do. Hey, minor spoilers, I guess. The character that has amnesia in this world uh, is thank you very much for the follow, Mr. Man Dude Bro Man. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Um, uh, yeah, the main character Back Arrow, who has incredible powers and is pretty much a mystery and nobody knows what's going on, and that character has amnesia. Yeah, turns out, weirdly enough, he's like a supreme force in the universe and is meant to be evil. Weird, right? And then like loses control of body and like does terrible things without knowing it because it's like meant for destruction. Which like if you had asked me when that show debuted last season, hey, what's gonna be the mystery behind it? That's what I would have said. So, Also, I don't know why some of those characters. I still don't know why some of those characters had a cowboy theme. This is like weird character designs, but whatever. That's a show that I'll like watch like the last 2 episodes of at some point when it's over. Seeing that Bandai really wanted Back Arrow to succeed, it got real good figures even before the show started. Yeah, so they they hired like good people to do character design and do the model design. Also, I did the mobile suits are done in CG, which of course they are. They're gonna be CGI. But like they're like magic based, not like machine based, and I was just kind of put off by them. I didn't like the look of them. I'm sure there were other designs that were going to come through that maybe I would have liked more if given enough time to get into it. But from what I saw, I did not like the look of any of the machines in it. And it's tough because, look, I want to like mech shows. I like mechs. I want to like the shows. Like, I'm looking at the 86 mechs. Those kits are, I think, just out in Japan. I don't believe they've come out here in the U.S., so you think you have to, import them. But 86 is a show I definitely don't want to watch. But the mech design of the machines that the public is told are drones, but are actually piloted by people. I was like, oh, those drones look kind of cool. Maybe I'll get one of them. I don't know. But yeah, that show is just like, oh, okay. This like second class citizens are secretly the pilot, like on piloting these things, and they're just fodder because war is safe now. But that's just what people tell themselves because their government is lying to them. I was just like, yeah. 86 gives me big IBO vibes. Yeah, boom. Like, it's IBO vibes, but instead of like, oh, we're in a system and we're trying to get out of this system and we're fighting our way out. It's like, hey, we're in this system and this is everybody's plan. 86, the first few episodes, pretty slow. A little interest at first, says Harrison. But last 2 episodes, plot progression piqued my interest. Yeah, it was just one of those things where I was like, somebody I trust has to tell me this show is fantastic for me to like, because the premise wasn't doing anything for me. Because it was like, maybe if the character who is just learning about this world, who is part of the government that, is like their contact, if I don't know, I would maybe be more interested if she had a change of heart instead of being like a naive person just discovering this is what's happening, or if the person like didn't care, like never care. But to have her just be like a young naive girl that is like finding out the truth and is like trying to be nice but like doesn't know how to help, I'm just like, I'm not super into that. Just not really into it. But I think it looks pretty cool. And I know I'm a stick in the mud when it comes to the CGI monsters and stuff, or robots or anything like that. I mean, there are examples of me being okay with it. Like, I'm pretty okay with the anytime I see a character put a helmet on in Super Cub, it is probably because they are doing the vehicles in CGI. Or like season 2 of Laid Back Camp, Rin is like her on her moped is pretty CGI heavy, instead of just the traditional digital. And I'm like pretty okay with that because I understand like that's how these shows get made. And I'm just excited to have those shows. Like, so I guess I'm more forgiving when it's a show I like, and less forgiving when it's a show I'm like not super into. Um, like I appreciate that they don't the spider in Soma Spider So What. Sometimes she is CGI, but most of the time she is just a digital creation. And since she's the main character of a show, like that feels important to me. Um, Whereas, like, yeah, I would be bummed if that was not if they were doing something different. All right, we're gonna take a pause to the cause in a moment or two. We are done here with the arms, and we can put that in with the stuff we did on Monday. So yeah, this kit is coming along. This was fairly inexpensive. This is a 2020 release, as I said. We're gonna start working on the legs. I guess we're gonna do the start with the feet, build up the legs, and then do the waist last, which is traditional these days. And the weapons, there's some good weapons on here, which I'm happy about, because having that axe, love having that axe. Oh, and there's a special arm for the weapon. That's cool. But yeah, we'll get to that. This makes me think of Luna and Sailor Moon live action shows. Sometimes she is a stuffed animal, and sometimes she is CGI, and it's always very jarring. Sometimes she's a stuffed animal on a stick. You can clearly see the T. I have not seen that, and I don't think that's a good idea. I think you gotta like do one of them. I don't think you can do both of those things. It's a good show, though. Well, the T, yeah, that's the thing, right? So it's a good show. So you're like, oh, that's weird, but it's like not like it's not a deal breaker because you like the show, which I get and respect. And like I said, I'm the same way. I know some other people might watch Super Cub and be like, oh, I don't like when they're on their bikes because I just don't like, if they're moving quickly. If they're going slow, then it's when it's computer generated, I'm just not as into it. And I get that. But because I think that show fucking kicks ass and is beautiful, I'm like, I'm all right with it. Yeah, I wish it wasn't, but I get it. And it means that the show exists, so I'll take it. It was 2003. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro was a show surprisingly become one of the weekly shows I look forward to this season. Hilariously entertaining. Yeah, so I know a few people that like that show. No shade on my part with that. I just find that I bounce off of when the dynamic between two characters is this one character bothers the shit out of another character who doesn't like it, but does like it, but doesn't like it. There's another show, I forget the name of it, where the premise is that like two kids that sit next to each other in school, and like she just like torments him, and he doesn't love it but loves it, and it's just that is not a thing that I am into. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I hope it's great, but yeah, I'm just like, nah, that kind of like being an annoying character, like, yeah, the laughter out of that just doesn't hit me right. I don't know. Yeah, I think my response to it isn't like, ha ha. It's just like, yeah, get out of here. Like, I don't think it's that hypocritical to say I did enjoy Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out, because while she did make fun of him, it was always like it wasn't like all the time, and it was her trying to like help, if that's anything to say. Tsuri is now following. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Like her getting it, like Uzaki, wanting to bother him was like playful. I guess. And also they were college students and not like high school or middle school students. And for some reason, them being college students made things way better for me in my enjoyment anyway. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't mind that element of it. Uh, I'm not going to do the feet on this kit. I could panel line the feet here, but I'm not going to bother. But what I am going to do is, definitely seems like the most anime is about high school. High school is definitely a time because that's the market they're trying to sell. They're trying to sell to that audience, right? Um, People nostalgic for their high school years, people in high school, people who are about to go to high school. It is often where people kind of find their sweet spot. All right, so we are going to take a pause for the cause. Usagi, keep thinking of Usagi Jimbo. Yeah. No, is not what I'm looking for there. All right, we're going to do this sub out. Oops, nope, this one. And put this in there. We're taking a pause for the cause. If you're new to the stream, hi. This is the point where I'm just going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel if you're so inclined. You're under no obligation to do any of the things I'm about to mention, but if you would like to support what I do, I would appreciate it very much, and I'm going to talk about ways you can do that. Again, this is all optional. I'll get through this as fast as I can, and we'll get into more model kit building and talking about the anime I have been watching lately. So first and foremost, you could become a subscriber to the channel by using Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you get a token every month that you can use for a streamer. I would say please consider doing that for somebody. If it's not me, do it for somebody else because that can really mean a lot. If you're currently subscribed, you can throw the Bear Cave Lego set emote in the chat. Let the people know about those cool emotes. And thank you very much, everybody. If you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that to a regular subscription, and they won't charge you till your gift month is over. Speaking of gifts, if you wanted to gift a sub, if you wanted to gift that one sub tonight to get me to 50 subscribers, and I won't shut up about it until I'm down again, you could do that. You're under no obligation to, of course. But if you'd like to, you're more than welcome to do that. Bits and coins are also always appreciated. There is a gift leaderboard. There's also a bits leaderboard. And, you know, again, these are all things you could do. Now, to stepping outside of the... we just got Dr. Jones. Hey, Dr. Jones. Just gave me 20 bits. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Thank you for those bits. What I was saying was, beyond this, hey, maybe you didn't know this. I got a Patreon. And so $5 a month, you're like, $5, that doesn't really feel like something I want to do. I don't want to be a subscriber to anybody on Twitch. I understand that. But I have a Patreon. I got a $1 tier, a $3 tier, a $5 tier, and a $10 tier. If you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up, YouTube? You can find all this in the show description. And if you're watching the VOD, why don't you open up the chat and you can see all this as I'm typing it in chat, in the VOD replay. And hello. So I have a Patreon. As I said, different tiers, different rewards for each tier. I have a YouTube. I have a VODs channel, and then I have a primary YouTube. My primary YouTube is youtube.com/PatBear. And I offer subscriptions for free, of course, because it's YouTube, and memberships for $2 a month. And what do you get at the $2 a month? Well, you get one video a day early. So tomorrow, if you were a member on YouTube, tomorrow you will get a video that I'm going to post on Wednesday, but you'll see it tomorrow. And that's a reward for $2 a month. And that, you know, there's something a little different. A thing I can do. A thing I can offer. Also, I offer direct donations set up. And if you make a donation, it goes into a fund where I buy model kits and equipment. Anything I make through direct donations like Coffee and Streamlabs and PayPal, YouTube, Patreon, and Twitch goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with that money. I just ordered something that's coming to increase my backlog. I've got stuff coming, pre-orders coming in for the next several months. I did, let's see. Yeah, I got some of that stuff. Supposedly at the end of May, I will get a check or direct deposit. I believe it's a direct deposit, I should say, from YouTube because my AdSense, my Google money has hit $100. And so I'm going to get a payout, and I'm going to use that and buy model kits with that. I bought a mask today that is Iron-Blooded Orphans related, and I use my own money from that. I'm not using your money for that. I'm using your money for model kits and equipment, occasional equipment, like this headset, this new headset that I bought this year. This came out of funds from y'all. So thank you very much for that. Again, you don't have to spend money, but if you want to, you can. I do have an Amazon wish list. If you would like to put your money where your mouth is and have me make a video about the thing that you bought, and then also it jumps the queue. If you want to see me build something before I build anything that I have in my backlog, you could buy something from my Amazon wish list. And I'll quickly go through that, talk about some highlights in there. I've got Lego sets. Right now, there are a couple kits in there that are they're out of stock, but they're getting more in, so the price is cheap. So, like, if you wanted to get the Gundam Barbatos, it's $13 right now, which is a steal. It won't ship until the end of the month, but it's there. But yeah, I've got some Lego stuff. I've got some high grades, some master grades, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, kits that are overpriced that I'm sure if I walked into a hobby shop, I could find for a better deal. But an equipment at the bottom in case you're just like, I don't know. So that's an option. Another option, if you're interested and you are under no obligation to do this, is you could buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store, and then you could send me a DM on Twitter with a code, because you buy something, you buy a gift card there, you get a code, you send me that code, I'll buy something at USA Gundam Store. Maybe it's a pre-order, maybe it's a kit that you think you'd like to see me build. You can give some suggestions. We can do it like that. Those are options. We're going to get into building and just back to building in just a moment. I want to finish talking about a few things. I got a Discord. That's free. You can join my Discord. I post build photos at every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It's pretty quiet. I would describe my Discord as chill. It's pretty chill. And yeah, so you could join that if you're interested. And let's see. Let's see. What else did I want to say? Oh, a couple video links. Pat Bear's Anime Club is a every other Monday, so I didn't put a new episode out this week. This is last Monday's episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. I put out a video that you should check out if you haven't already, where I try to figure out, like, what's the perfect isekai, or, like, the best isekai, and try to figure that out in that subcategory. Talk about some terms, talk about, like, what people online have been saying, and then give my own opinion and try to figure out what I think is the best isekai. Teaser, next Monday, my video is going to be about idol shows. The history of what is an idol in Japan, and then getting into why it's not a subgenre I particularly enjoy, but how one of those shows I think rules. Yeah, the T likes idol shows a lot. Now, idol shows, when I talk about that, I'm talking about IDOL, idol. Not yes, and the T is making a joke about idle, IDLE, idol shows. But yeah, idol shows are pretty great. They're like slice of lives, but like nothing happens. One thing happens over and over again, and it's comforting. But anyway, that's going to be next Monday. It's not this one. And then the other video is Bear With Me. I do a product review. I've never done a product review before, but I got a piece of gear that I wanted to talk about, and I got it, and I talk about it in a video, because Bear With Me is reaction videos, but why not also do a reaction of a product? I figured, like, why not try? Also, want to give a shout out to the T, who joined my Patreon. Thank you, the T. Appreciate that very much. I don't have an overlay pop up for when people join the Patreon, but I do want to thank you for that. Appreciate that. Getting me close back to my $150, which I have been lax about trying to get back to. At $150, I opened up Monday streams, but when I dropped below 150, I didn't want to give up doing streams on Monday, so I just didn't say anything. I'm just like, I thought about doing it a while ago and was like, I should. Well, I appreciate that, T. Thank you very much. Once a month, you vote on what I do on Wednesdays, one of my Wednesday streams. That already happened for May, but it's coming up again. You'll have that. You get a little bit at the $3 level, and I appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to talk about some anime, and I'm going to keep building a model kit. Those are the two things that are happening. So let's do that. Also, I'm going to have some water, because it's definitely time for some water. I need that because I'm going to be talking about some anime stuff. So I don't talk about it weekly because I don't watch it on Saturdays, but I am pretty caught up right now. We'll go to the overhead. Working on our feet don't need anything, so now we're moving up to the right leg. We're gonna do the full right leg. So we're doing that. We'll just start with the right leg and move our way up. So we'll put that aside, these aside, put this up here so you can see it, and then we're gonna work on our leg, which is all C. So I am pretty caught up with My Hero Academia. I got caught up on that because I'm kind of watching that at my own pace. I'm not watching that weekly because there's a lot coming on Fridays and Saturdays that I have more of a desire to keep up on. But I want to talk about a few things that are happening. So the main part of this part of the season 5, is that the Class 1A and Class 1B are having a competition. They are like basically doing a like battle where they're trying to capture one another and put each other in jail. So each of them are playing the role of the hero and the role of the villain, which I like. And we're getting to see some characters that we saw in the sports festival, but not all of them, kind of have their chance to shine and show off. And the characters we do know very well, we are seeing them kind of step up and have like their moments, showing their new moves, and kind of showing the balance. Like, look, there's some good camaraderie between teams and different people. We're getting a chance to see how some characters work better with each other than others. There's some good and some bad. The guy who lives in shadows and is still an issue. There's still something I don't like about the Shadow Man. And I like that he considers Todoroki his rival because they're both dark-based characters, but obviously Todoroki is way fucking cooler. And I appreciate that Todoroki is like, I don't know you. I don't consider you my rival. He has his own rivals, and I appreciate that. I thought that was pretty neat. Also, Todoroki can now kind of fly using his Dark Shadow, and I think that rules. Because hello, Isabel, welcome. Look, Todoroki, the man who has a shadow that looks like him and a shadow-based weaponry or offense, but also happens to look like a bird, is very great. I love that he looks like a bird. And it's not related to his powers or abilities at all. He just also looks like a goddamn bird. And I always think that's great. I'm always going to like Todoroki. Todoroki's the fire ice guy. What am I saying? Why am I saying? Tokiyama. Jeez, Lashbrook, thank you for correcting me. I'm sure there's somebody else who was like, what's happening? Todoroki is the son of Endeavor. Tokiyama is the Dark Birdman. And you're right, and I'm sorry. I even wrote the name right when I was writing my notes, which is weird. Okay, so speaking of Shota, Todoroki, I hate his dad. I hate Endeavor very much. I don't know what you're talking about at all, but I heard Todoroki and thought a character by the name of Kamen Rider Hibiki. No, that is different. You're experiencing shitty anxiety attack. Have a great stream. I'm going to lie down. Well, Isabel, I'm so sorry that you're having an anxiety attack. And yeah, take care of yourself. Go lay down. I will have a great stream. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm sorry that you're having an attack, and you know what's best for you, and you do what's best for you. I'll be here for another 40 minutes, and then also here on Wednesday playing video games, and Thursday and Saturday. So you do you. Take care of you. No, I was definitely not talking about Kamen Rider Hibiki. Okay, so speaking of Shota, the actual Todoroki, his dad is Endeavor, and Endeavor sucks, and he's a bad dad and a bad man, and he's trying to become less of a bad dad and less of a bad man. And I don't necessarily want him to succeed because I don't like him. But I do like that through the help of his daughter, he has figured out how to text, and he's attempting to text Shota, his son, and his son is not responding to his texts. And I find that fantastic. This giant man covered in flames, typing on a phone, trying to, like, you know, inspire his son and also get his son to talk to him. I do enjoy that. There's a girl from Class 1B. I forget her name. I'm not even going to try because I forget her name. But she's the mushroom girl. She controls mushrooms, and her hair kind of looks like a mushroom top. And I love her. She's got like a mushroom dress. She's got a dress with mushrooms on it. And she controls mushrooms. And that's great. I love that. That's a nonsense thing. And I think that is fantastic. So good on her. Big fan of the mushroom girl. Happy that she was in at least a moment of the episode or this season. So that was nice. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I'm putting this on right. It looks like this. This snaps in. This snaps in. Great. And then we turn it around and back up. Because, yeah, we're doing the right leg here. So we got to do this first. Now we can put some armor on this thing. We done the frame, which is still a nice frame. I like it. But no, let's put some armor on it. So, yeah. What else did I say? Oh, okay. We need to talk about Pony. Her name is Pony. And, okay, so in Japan, I'm sure this is not a big deal. I'm sure people watch anime in Japanese, and they're understanding what's happening, and then a character does this, and then doesn't ever use a jitterbug cell phone. I think he just uses a regular smartphone, I'm pretty sure. But yes. So, Pony is American, and her English is bad. The voice actress seems to be doing fine in Japanese, but this voice actress does not do a great job in English. And a joke that happens that should be better than it is fails because of this. She gets really mad and she starts yelling in English. And then another character goes, "Pony's so mad, she's yelling in English." And then another character calms her down by speaking English to her. And he's supposed to be bad at it, but like good enough. And it calms her down. And the guy goes, "He's so great at calming her down in English." But here's the thing. The voice actor who I believe that's the character name is Mudman. He can make things mud-like. You would imagine, and you would be right. That is his deal. Mudman speaks better English than Pony, and I hate it. I hate it. There was a slice of life about a bunch of girls, and there was a girl whose her thing in the show was that girl is British, and so like she would like sometimes speak British. Speak English with a British accent. It sounded terrible. She was born in Britain. Then later, another character that she knew growing up moves to Japan. And her British accent was way better, and her English was way better, and they were supposed to be comparable. And I was like, these are not comparable. Japanese voice actors talking English, pretending to know English is my favorite thing. So, like, sometimes it's fine. Way described. Oh, yes. Kinero Mosaic in the best way possible. Yes, Karen was one of the characters from Kinero Mosaic. I forgot the name of that anime because I haven't seen it in a while. Thank you, Xenogears, for that. I appreciate it. But yes, like there were two English-speaking girls, and oof. Now, what I want to know is, how come Japanese voice actresses, seemingly just actresses, why can some of them have fluent and now maybe because I'm not German, but why does it seem like they can nail the German, speaking German, and just fucking kick ass? Like, why is that a thing? That seems to be way they seem to be way better at it. And obviously, I am not someone that speaks German. I do not know. So maybe I am making a gross mischaracterization. But it seems like that's not a big deal. World War II? I mean, okay. I think Beck did it really well. They still had the noticeable accents, but all the English was grammatically correct. Yeah, I think it has to be a thing that like they want to do. Like it's one thing that like yeah, I don't know. It's one thing if like uh one of the teachers in Azumanga Daioh like it's a big deal that she can speak English because she's a teacher and it doesn't sound great when she does it. It sounds like very like phonetic and slow, but that's a comedy show and she's not supposed to be from America. So it at any good or bad, if she was great at it, it would be funny. It's just because you don't know German, so you don't notice it sounding wrong. The T, that's definitely it. That definitely is it. Um, but but yeah, I think it's funny in like Azumanga Daioh when they're like, because it's like it doesn't matter if she's good at speaking English or not. It's actually better if she's not. Um, but yeah, when they're supposed to, when they're like from America, so Pony's from America, and I think she just doesn't have a good American accent. She sounds like a Japanese voice actor trying to do and like trying to speak English and not doing a great job of it. And it's like, why was that not a priority in the casting? It probably should be. It's one thing to be a voice actor and be like, oh, in this episode, you're going to speak English. And they're like, It's another to be like, you're playing Pony. She's from America. And it's like, oh, well, and part of the joke is sometimes she slips into like she does like her introduction is that like she doesn't know a lot of Japanese and says something offensive without knowing it. Or like not offensive but like rude without knowing it. Like that's the introduction to Pony. So like okay, we're really just going to like they knew she had to speak it at some point. So yeah. Japanese Kamen Rider actor who spoke perfect English, but when speaking English while acting, he puts on a Japanese accent for it. Yeah, I mean that I definitely that definitely happens. I've heard of that. Or like there are a few voice actors in Japan who who can speak English. They're native English speakers. It's their second language or their first language. And they do put an effect on when speaking English if they're not playing an American character or a British character or a character who is from a country where English is a primary language or the assumed language. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It is weird though. I just think it's still weird. All right, so we're working on our leg here. We're going to get the extension that's going to go into the feet. So we need C1, 2, or C2, and C1, 16. So that. Okay, so moving on from that, let's talk about Dragon Goes house hunting. Not much house hunting happened in this episode. We were left on a cliffhanger on the last episode where our dragon, Letty, and the eagle, the magical eagle bird, Pip, that has decided that Letty is their mother, they got captured. And obviously, that is going to be a big old deal, the fact that they've been captured. Oops, this is not C-116, is it? I don't know what this is, but put that aside, because I think I got the wrong piece. When I look for it later, yes, I took the wrong piece out. I don't know which piece that was, but I'll find it later when I'm like, huh, where's this piece go? We'll take out the right one. So they got kidnapped, and there's some other monsters there. They're in a prison, and they're like, uh-oh, are they going to sell us? Are they going into slavery? Are they going to kill us? What's going to happen? We got to escape. And the other monsters that are there are like I mean, you could escape, but like, this is a pretty cool deal we've got going here. They're like, what are you talking about? So they're all at a place that has an arena, and you're like, oh no, they make the monsters fight to the death? No, it's wrestling. It's all staged. The fights, the magistrate, the person that owns the whole thing, um, he's like, yeah, whatever. Like they find out who is, the house always wins, or the house often wins. So they find out who is, um, who like the voting is going for, and then they make sure that like the other person wins, and it's monsters, and the crowd is entertained, and it's fine. They just do that. It's staged. It's predetermined and staged. They're just doing that. And there are a bunch of different monsters, and they all seem pretty nice. And they're all like, yeah, this seems okay. And then there are zombies in the audience that would promote a movie. Yes, indeed. Right? Now, there are skeletons, and the skeletons lose a lot because they can put themselves back together. So it's okay if they lose, is basically the premise. And so then Letty's like, well, I don't really like this, but okay. But it's fine because, the demon or the dark lord of realty, Daria will come rescue and find me, right? Well, Daria is busy having drinking contests, and just like letting Letty be there is kind of another like life lesson, and just seeing what's up. And 10 days pass, and then Daria is like, oh, I should probably do something, because the magistrate that was having all this con happen, the magistrate dies. And his son is like, I don't want to do this. Also, if we release these monsters, they might try to kill us. So I'm going to send in some mercs to go in and kill all the monsters. They're already in cages. It'll be fine. And so some of the monsters escape. And while they escape, Letty is conscripted into being a group that is there to confuse them and stall for time. And like Letty it's comical. Letty like tries to help, but has trouble helping because Letty is, just a polite but goofy dragon. So, but Pip like stuns them, and everybody gets to do what they're doing. And they all escape, or they're almost about to escape. It looks like they're going to escape, but then, all of the humans, the mercenaries, trap them. And it looks like things are going to go bad. But Daria shows up, knocks them all out. Oops. Oh, no. The foot fell. Trying to get this foot on. Knocks them all out, saves the day. They all escape. They're all going to go start a circus together. And Letty's like, I like them, but it doesn't make sense for me to go, and I'm not going to join them. They're all nice, and I'm glad everything's okay, but I'm good. Okay, now I know why this wasn't working, because I put this in the wrong way, I think. And yeah, it was a fine episode. It was okay. Everyone made it okay. The search for Letty's home continues. It was a fine enough episode. I don't know. This show is just like, I'm waiting for like something else to happen. Like Pip was a big deal. Having this bird, and now Letty wants to do the right thing and do the work in order to take care of this bird, find the right house. All of that like is good and really adds to the show, and I think makes it way better. So I'm looking forward to the character in the opening that has not been introduced yet, the pink or red hair, pink haired humanoid looking creature that I don't know what she is. I'm excited about her being introduced because that might give us more to do and more fun to have with the story and all that. Really build out their family unit, which would be nice. So overall, I'm liking the show, but like, I don't know. It's fine. It's fun. I think the world building is great. I think all the character design is fantastic. They put a lot of effort in all the characters. I think that's all great, but I don't know. It's lacking a little bit. All right, so I'm going to panel line this whole thing before I put in the this piece, the hose, because I'm going to do the hose. I'm going to panel line that separately and then put it in because you got to get all these lines in. I got to make sure that looks good. So we'll do that now. And then, yeah, so that's that show. And I'll tell you about Let's Make a Mug Too, TOO. This is a show that's like Tajimi City, the tourism board for that, heavily is promoting this show. Put a lot of money into it. It's like a 14-minute episode and then like a 9-minute live action thing where the voice actresses are like doing stuff in the city to like, it's entertaining and fun and sometimes better than the other episode, but it's mainly there to promote what they're there to do, which is get you to go visit the city and check out the thing it's most famous for, which is the historic. It's a city that is famous for its clay and its pottery and its plates and all kinds of stuff, pottery wares and all that. Might I recommend Thunderbolt Fantasy? So Zeno, I will give that another go. I gave that a shot. I think I watched like 5 episodes of it, and it didn't hit me. I like the style of it. I love the medium of it, but yeah, it just didn't really keep my interest. But I'll give it another shot one of these days because I want to really like it. I just didn't super enjoy it when I gave it a shot. But yeah, it might be worth another try. So yeah, maybe I'll give that one more go in the future. But Let's Make a Mug 2 is a lovely little slice of life. It is about this regular old high school because the girls and guys and non-binary pals out there that really want to get into pottery go to a technical school, but there is still a pottery club in this regular general school, and there's a contest coming up, and our main character Himiko doesn't know, Himeno, I should say. She's very new to pottery, doesn't know what she wants to do. So they're like, well, why don't you try drawing something and then maybe you can make it in clay? Turns out, very bad at that. Not good at the whole being an artist thing. Art's very bad, very funny. And then she tries to make some small plates, but she runs into trouble because her dad mentions needing more plates. So she's like, well, maybe I can make a small plate. Like the theme is something to make life easier around the home. So she's like, I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what I'm going to do for this. She wants to do well. Her mom, who died when she was very young, was a well-known, locally anyway, pottery person. So she's like, oh, I want to kind of honor my mom and make something. She's running some issues. Her dad is like, hey, I want to show you. I found the thing that we left here that your mom made in high school, and it's a ceramic baseball bat. And he's like, she did it to cheer me up because he was having issues. Like he wasn't on the team. He wasn't getting to play. And so she did that because she's like, oh, maybe you'll be a better baseball player with this. Which like he was like, even if I could swing this, it would break. But she's like, it's the thought that counts. I appreciate that she did this. And that kind of inspires Himeno a bit. Ooh, we're at 48, so I'm going to change that to 48 subscribers. That's where we're at right now. Try to get back to 50. We'll see if we can. But yeah, in general, it is just her trying to figure out what inspires her and how she can get ready to make something for this contest that's coming up. She'd like to. And then she gets an idea based a little bit about like what happened to her that day. She wants to make ceramic cushions, which seems like, well, ceramics and a cushion, that doesn't make any sense. But the summers in Tajimi are brutal. So she's like, I want to make something that is cool. So you can sit on it and it'll cool you off because it won't be hot because it's ceramic, so it shouldn't absorb the heat. It'll stay cool. And that's like a weird thing, but she gets encouraged to try it. It's going to take a lot of effort to get it done because it's not a thing that maybe exists. So yeah, she's going to go for it. And I'm like, all right, well, go for it, I guess. I don't know. So we'll see. But it's cool that she's at least inspired to try something. I think that's neat. In the live action portion, because I said there's a live action portion, it's the it's the voice actors, the four main girls, going around and seeing stuff. They've been to museums, they've had some tutorials, they've gone shopping, they've done a bunch of stuff, and it's all like tourist spots. It's like they went to see the house that is the inspired the school that inspired the show, the house that one of the shows or one of the places is based on. They've done tourist stuff, and also they're promoting the city, right? This is a definite attempt to sell people on going and checking the place out, and seeing the historic features of it. It is marketing, but whatever. It's entertaining marketing, so sure. And this episode, they are going to try out handmade pottery. They've used a wheel to make mugs, but now they're going to be doing handmade stuff, and they're making curry plates. So that is the intended use, and each of them makes their own kind of plate. They pick different shapes and different ways to decorate it, and they go through the method. And they're always like talking about like, oh, this reminds me of this reminds me of that. Like they talk about other stuff they saw. They're just making casual conversation. They're on camera and all that. And this is like, loosely scripted. It's them playing themselves, but a version of themselves for camera and all that. Because they're performers, so they're still performing. One of the things I really like is at one point, most of them were raised in the same area, but one of them was raised in a different prefecture, and she goes, yeah, this reminds me of like the summers when we would make treasures. And then she realizes, wait, am I weird? Was I raised weird? Because they're all like, what do you mean making treasures? She's like, yeah, in the summertime, you would make like little treasures. And they're like, no, what do you mean by that? And she's just like, did you guys not make treasures over the summer? Was that not your summer project? And they're like, no, what are you even saying? And they're like, that sounds great though. And one of the women says, she's like, look, if I have a daughter, I want her to grow up there because that sounds great. But it's this really funny thing where she just has this realization that she's like, wait, a thing from my childhood is not common for other people. And it just feels very real and honest. Like it's cute, but it's a very like real moment that I very much enjoyed. There are moments in this thing that are just like, they're performers. They're out there doing their thing, but they're occasionally having like real moments that I can appreciate. And that was very fun. They make and they're like they all want to make more pottery. That's another thing. Like that feels like a scripted thing. That feels like a thing that they're like told like to say. But every episode they're just like, this was great. I want to do this more. But then they made all their plates and they all were kind of their personality. I do like it when the voice actresses like chat with each other, because they don't super know each other at all, and it's kind of fun. And they occasionally relate it back to the manga, or like they're like, well, we're at the castle that is going to be in the manga. They do this, so it's like, okay, yeah, that's a tie-in. But yeah, as I said, it is very promotional. So I would say the live action and the animated are separate episodes. It's like 7, and 7.1 is live action. Like you could just watch the live action. I think the live action is like in some episodes have been better because it's like fun people learning about stuff. It feels, I don't know, it feels like I shouldn't be watching it because this is not a thing that normally that you normally get subtitled. This is normally stuff that you're like, wait, the voice actresses do like a live thing? Does anyone have that? And you'll find like a couple things. Like there are specials out there they do of voice actresses. They're all in the same place and they're like going to go meet. There's one that's kind of famous where like the person that does some of the main voices in a bunch of modern stuff, including like ReZero, meets Goku's voice actress, and she's like like it's played up. They're like, oh, this is a senior in our field. Like some of the other girls are like, oh, this is a separate thing. This is not part of Let's Make a Mug. This just reminds me of that. Some of the other girls are like, oh, well, this is somebody who's been in the business for a very long time, and this one voice actress who does I can't remember who she does. She does a bunch of voices, but she's just like, no, you don't understand. That's Goku. Like she's just like, I'm meeting Goku, and it's just like made me really happy that it's just like she's like clearly a big anime fan who got to be a voice actress, and worked hard and it did what she needed to do, but is like starstruck by meeting this like well known, and she's like afterwards she goes like, oh, I got so nervous. I wanted to ask for advice, but that's not what we're here. And she was just like, I wanted to talk to her about doing voice stuff. And it was just very cute. But that kind of stuff, like fans translate those things. Those things are like Blu-ray extras that somebody got and put up on YouTube, and no one's taken it down. You rarely see that stuff in just as a thing that's on Crunchyroll or Funimation, those kind of things. Those are rare to get. If anything, you'll get like a thing that ends up on Twitter that is promoting the upcoming season of a show, and it's like a little like 4-minute thing of like, we talked to the guy that led the team that animated the Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin opening, or we talked to the Subaru from ReZero about the show, and it's just like a translated thing, and then like they'll say like one thing, and they're like, oh, and to our American fans, hello, like, and you're like, cool, okay, that's fine. All right, so we gotta connect. We're working on our legs here. We're getting our legs done. I'm going to put a poll up for Thursday. My $10 patrons are going to have to vote on what I build on Thursday, because I think I'm going to finish this up during the stream on Thursday. I think. That's my guess anyway. Because, like, we have the waist and we have the weapons, and that's not a whole lot. There's some left to build, but not like a whole lot. So we'll probably finish by the end of Thursday. That's my guess anyway. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But that's my thinking. So I'll have to have them vote. Because they didn't vote on this. Y'all voted on this. Because on Saturday, I was not expecting to start another kit. So. All right. Have a great night, Zeno. Thanks for being here. There's a live action Hands Off Isaacin. Yes, I've heard that bear out. And those are the things. Those are the things we don't get here, right? We don't get the live action dramas. Like, I've never seen the live action Laid Back Camp. I've never seen the live action Isaacin. I've seen sometimes the movies show up. Very rarely the live action movies make their way onto some service and you can kind of check them out. But yeah, like I've loved to see some of those like properly translated and like brought out. Really the only live action we get is like a Kamen Rider, like something like that. There was an idol show that was a combination of it was like Gem, but it was like Gem Matrix. Basically, there was a live action component of girls at school, and one of the girls has taken over the role of she takes over the role of this like well-known idol inside a virtual world, and then she goes into the computer, and that part's animated, and like, I don't know, that didn't come out over here, and I was like, I kind of want to watch that because I like the mix. I remember something that's going on that's kind of a big deal you may not have heard about. Okay, the T, if you want to let me know what's going on. Toei, the Kamen Rider company, sent a cease and desist to one of the biggest Tokatsu fan subgroups, TV Nihon. Oh, okay, wow. I mean, look, you would hope that comes with that would come with. It's their right, certainly. You would hope that would come with an announcement of shows being easier to get. Toei, their anime shows up, right? Their live action stuff doesn't show up as much, and in fact, some of the old stuff just went off Crunchyroll not too long ago. Some of it is then they got some new stuff because but that's not because they made a deal with Toei. It's because they made a deal with a company that made a deal with Toei years ago. And then part of their deal for the back catalog was to get that because it was a catalog decision, not a we want to have this. So you can find some stuff like out there, but the non-Kamen Rider. But yeah, that's like that should be interesting to see what that means. Like obviously, like I said, that it's within their rights, but one would hope, well, if they're going to crack down on this, it's because they want to, they don't want people doing that. They'd rather they watch, their licensed stuff, because that was always we're fan subbing, but like obviously not everyone believes that, but like we're fan subbing because nobody puts it out here and we want to watch it and support it. And when it, if and when that does, we'll stop. I remember there was one, and that's like, that's never like, I get it, but and look, fan subbing is how I got into anime years and years ago. That is where I got my start watching stuff, was watching fan subs. So like, I'm not saying, like, I'm not saying I'm too good for it, but like, that was a different time, but it was also important to be able to see those things. You had to. So, I'm like, I'm a little of two minds on that. I remember definitely did not feel like a gray area, but there was the 0-1 subs should be taken down right now, and Ryuki. Yeah. But I remember there was a fan sub group that was like, we're doing we're fan subbing anything that comes out on Anime Strike, because people shouldn't, like, it's not worth paying Amazon Prime plus paying more to see it. And it was like, well, that's a weird argument right there. Like, it is licensed. People can see it in the language that they read. There's no, y'all. Like, look, did I at the time want to watch the side story to Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Yeah, I wanted to see that. Did I want to pay extra for Anime Strike? No. Did I watch it when Anime Strike went away and you could just watch that stuff with just your regular Prime? Yes, totally. I did that and it was not a problem. But yeah, no, I'm not. I guess I'm in the camp of like, I mean, yeah, it's totally their right to be like, hey, don't do this. Hey, don't do this. All right, so did I not do the top part? I didn't do the top part. I forgot to do the top part there. So I have to do that. We're going to do panel lining on this leg, finish this leg. I'm going to do the part that I skipped for some reason and do that so that I can attach it. And we'll do more of this in the next stream. We are going to raid, folks, so I hope you please come along on this raid with me. Oh, Jam just subscribed with Twitch Prime. That's 41 months. Thank you for renewing your subscription using Twitch Prime. Hey, we were talking about Twitch Prime, and then you renew with Twitch Prime, and that rules. Thank you very much, Jam. Appreciate that. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego Scythe emote in the chat at the end of the stream here as a thank you. 41 months. That is such a long time. Thank you so much for all of that support, Jam. But yeah, let's throw a Bear Cave Lego Scythe emote while I get ready to figure out who we're going to raid, because we gotta figure that out. We got to go to, why is this not, there we go. Got to go to my Twitch page, see who is streaming right now. Then we want to go to raid, see what they're doing. We've got, oh, Tanya is playing Mass Effect Legendary. She's playing Mass Effect. When did Tanya start? I want to see. When did she start? I like checking now and again to see when people have gone live. She usually doesn't stream when I can watch, so oh, she's only doing it for an hour. Great. So we're gonna go raid Tanya, who rules. Absolutely fantastic. So We're going to go give her a raid because it's been a hot minute. Remember, folks, no backseat tweeting. She knows what she's doing, but I know you all are better than that. But we are going to go give Tanya a raid. Check out her stream. So feel free to come along on this raid as she plays some Mass Effect. I'm just happy to be able to give her a raid. And then I'll be back Wednesday. I'm playing Hearthstone. Wednesday is my bonus gaming stream. And I am playing Hearthstone, so please come watch me do that. I got a new deck. I got a priest deck that I don't hate. Miracle of Miracles, I'm playing a kind of fun priest deck. So come watch that stream on Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday to keep working on this kit. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great night. I will see you on the next stream. And yeah, let's go hang out with Tanya. Goodbye, everybody. Good night, and bye-bye.